There's so much left to do, and I am running out of time.
Welcome back. This is Chad with Be Gone for Good. Today I'm going to be talking about everything that I need to figure out a way to get accomplished in the next couple of weeks to be ready for the Mid-Atlantic BDR trip. It is a ton of stuff. There are some things on kind of a wish list and there's some things on the must-do list. And we're going to run through everything today. Hopefully it'll just give you some idea too of videos that'll be coming out over the next couple of weeks, and maybe even while I'm on the trip or editing after the trip, just so I can get some of that stuff in the pipeline so that there isn't a huge delay while I'm editing the overall Mid-Atlantic BDR movie. So one of the big ones I'm going to be doing is changing back into these tires. These are the Motaz GPSs, which are a 50/50 tire. Should be really good for the on-road, off-road that I'm going to have to do to get all the way up to the BDR and all the way home from the BDR, while also giving me enough grit and grip to be able to take on some of the more rugged sections of the BDR. There's been a lot of rain this year, so some of the sections are really muddy, really washed out. I think this is be a nice in-between. I took the ADV tires to Utah last year and they worked extraordinarily well. I don't think I need anything quite that rugged for the Mid-Atlantic BDR, so these are gonna be my tires for that run. I do have to get them changed. I'm gonna be doing them myself. I hope to have a video about this whole process of tire changing and levering everything on and getting the tubes installed, all the things that I really struggled with my first couple of times putting on tires. I'm gonna get that video out so that anybody who has an AT or specifically is looking to make a tire change can watch that and get some hands-on technical information about how to get it done, easiest way to do it, the things I've screwed up in the past and the things I've learned getting it done now so that I can do it a little bit smoother. I'll also get out the part numbers and the sizes and everything that I did, as well as some links down in the description for all of the different equipment that I'm using. I will probably save that for the actual videos where those things are there for, so that you're not getting two links in 15 different videos. It'll be in the tire change video, but all of those links, everything that I use, will be included in those videos. So if you are interested in changing tires on your AT and need to know exact sizes and specs and all that, stay tuned for that tire change video. That should get you everything you need. Along with that, I'll also include some of the tools that I use. I've got a lot of different tools. Some work really well, some work not so well, and I've used a bunch of different stuff in there. I will get you the stuff that I use that works really well, the things that break the bead and help align the tube and protect the rim and all of those different things that you see out there, all those different items. I'll get you kind of a breakdown of everything that I've used and whether it worked well or didn't, whether it's still in my gear or not. You'll have all that information. While I'm conducting that tire change, I'm also gonna be changing out the brake pads. Now, this will be my first time changing out the brake pads on this bike. Nope. This will be my first time changing out brake pads on any bike, any car, anything along those lines. This will be the first time I ever do brake pads, period. From what I see in the manual and I've read online, it seems like a fairly easy job to do. Not a whole lot of issue with getting it taken care of. I will be very careful not to squeeze the handbrake or the foot brake while I'm getting this done. Apparently that creates quite an issue. And I will make sure that alignment and everything is taken care of when I get it done. But that will probably be included on that video for the tire change, just because it'll all be taking place at the same time. One of the other things I had to take care of before this trip started was to kind of go through the bike and just make sure that all of the stuff that had gotten broken and beaten up in Utah have been fixed and taken care of at this point. Now, I took off, and if you've seen the Utah video, you know how bashed up this plate got. This is the bash plate that sits on top of the center stand. So it actually covers anything that the center stand does. This thing took a real beating in Utah, and I just finally got it taken off. It's not gonna make its way to the Mid-Atlantic just because it is too beat up. I can't get it back on. The screw holes are all screwed up and everything. It's going to take a little bit of work to get this back on. I'm hoping the Mid-Atlantic is not vitally important to get that taken care of, because this isn't gonna make the trip. So this got removed. I'm also gonna be talking a little bit about the Reckless 80 that I'm taking with me that sits on the bike here. Any other packs that I take along with me. I'll also be doing a video about the Moscow Moto Nomad the tank bag that I have up there. All of that will be coming in future videos because it's all going to be a part of this trip. I'll be doing pack outs for the Reckless 80 as far as what I take for my camping, what I take for my comfort inside the tent, how I pack for that, how I take my cookware. That's gonna be an interesting one for this time too, because this will be the first trip where I really concentrate a lot on cooking at the campsite instead of stopping at restaurants and diners and things along the way. So that's gonna be totally different. I'm going to have to try and get over the hump of making that a possibility for myself, because it's not my comfort zone. Cooking by a campfire or cooking by a jet boil is not the way I traditionally do stuff, but on this trip, we're gonna be doing that, and you'll see the video of that as well. People have asked me how the Reckless 80 fits on the Africa Twin because of these grab handles on here, and I'll tell you, it's not great, but it's also not terrible. I will talk a little bit about the fit that comes on the AT and how I've made it work a little bit better and the issues that I have with how it fits, but how overall it still is a workable piece of equipment, especially for the Mosco quality and capability that you're getting. I think it's still a good piece of gear. I will talk a little bit about the Reckless 80 and what you can and can't do because of the grab handles on the Africa Twin. And finally, I'll be talking about some of the things that I'm going to be doing to mentally prepare for this trip, to get myself in the right frame of mind, to make this route, to get it planned out, to know where we're going to be spending campsites, restaurants, all of that extra stuff. A little bit of that is going to be in flux, obviously, because we don't know this route all that well, and we want to leave some availability for changes or spur of the moment type of things that we meet along the way. We're hoping to hit a lot of the historical sites along the way, so that means your Gettysburg, your Antietam, some of the things that might be even a little bit off the beaten path, but just to get a little bit of flavor of the route as we're going along. So hopefully over the course of the next few weeks, because it's coming super fast, I'll have an opportunity to plan out some of those destinations, plan out some of the things that we would like to see that might be off the bike, but just something that we want to catch that full experience of the ride. And you will see that planning stage, you will see some of those elements brought into place to complete this trip overall, to make it a one-stop shop, to hit everything up through that corridor. That is going to be my goal. And finally, I'm hoping to do a fun video about a playlist that I'm making for this trip. It's going to include all sorts of eclectic music. I'm sure you have songs that are musts for any road trip that you go on. Maybe you listen to music off-road, I don't know. I tend to shut it off when I get into a little bit more technical terrain or things where I really want my mind to focus. But for the road riding, I absolutely will have a playlist for this run. I will hopefully get all of that assembled over the course of the next couple of weeks so you can see what I'm going to be listening to. I might even be able to get a link out so you can listen to the same playlist while you're following along with our trip, which I think would be kind of cool. I'm going to be doing a lot of live stuff from the road, assuming I can get a cell signal out there, which I don't think should be an issue because we're not really that far from civilization. So stay tuned for those as well. We'll be on the ground as we move type of stuff. We'll bring you in on some of our conversations and places that we're visiting and things that we're planning on seeing, just so you can be a part of this trip as much as possible. Those of you who have been following the channel for the last couple of years know that I really value everybody out there who's been following along and keeping track, and I want to bring you along on this trip as best I can with as much video as I can along the way. So thank you again very much for following. Thank you very much for encouraging me along this trip and this route. This is the stuff that I have planned for the next 3 weeks to get out, to get shot, to get done, to get taken care of, so that I can join you guys on this trip and really make the most of it, have the best time out there possible. Thanks for watching. This is Chad with Be Gone for Good. I'll see you in the next video.